mighty quiet out here on the business frequency.
What's cracking?
Not me, that's for sure.
One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is the audio working?
Yeah, it's working.
All right, so give me a moment here to shore up a few items.
Dennis, if you call my number before I make it back, proxy me in.
I got you, buddy.
79.
Hey, Joe, I found you a VHF UHF meter, a diamond like mine, used in excellent shape, $50.
What's selling, Jerry?
Huh?
What's selling?
All right, the audio, sir.
What are you selling, Jerry?
I said I found a Diamond SX400 VHF UHF SWR meter. Somebody's got one in excellent shape on eBay, $50.
Okey-dokey.
Yeah, it's cheap. They want 14, 20, 15 bucks shipping, so it'd be 65 bucks. Yeah, it's freaking clean, man.
Radio check. This is CZ 103, this is for radio check, over. This is CZ 103. Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, OTR tonight?
Yeah, we're having some technical setup things going on here, but we will have it.
Say what? Can you repeat that, please?
Wherever you are, for music and the latest the station for you is wherever you are, for music and the latest.
I can't hear you.
Testing 1, 2, control room testing. Is the transmitter functioning?
Yep, it is.
Loud and clear.
I can hear you.
Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you, wherever you are, for music and the latest news from home and from afar. The station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
the station for you is
OTR.
Now, this is Friday, right? I mean, Saturday, right?
Yes, sir.
Is anybody on the Old Tube Radio Network page? Are you getting audio? All right, that's a good thing if you're not on the main page then.
Yes, it's working.
Okay, weird, because my confirmation playback is not working. So if it's working, then I'll just have to imagine that it's working here.
How you doing, Dennis?
All right, well, even though the main page is showing to me no audio, everybody says there is audio, so we will assume that we have audio and continue. Okay. Yeah, I hear Darren says it's okay, and so I will get started because I don't want to have double audio like I had last time. But now it seems like there's no audio. So at what is it? 8:12. I think I owe 12 minutes here at the end, and we will do that. Let me check over on the video side, which is up. I see OBP. Hello, OBP. And the Friar Tuck, Sheriff of Nottingham, is out there listening, so I must have audio going that way. So I will proceed. If there's some wacky things going on, let me know. I think I heard the jingle singers coming in from the other room. Just say that this is the Old Tube Radio Network. We will be starting with the directed net roll call. 27085 is where you can hear us over the air. OldTubeRadio.net, I hope, is where you'll be hearing us somewhere else. And if you can't get that, you might be watching us at Google YouTube, the Old Tube Radio Network, for the, what is today? The 16th of March. Let's get started with the roll call and see if SWL 00 is out there. Over.
Checking in. Sounds good up here, Dennis.
All right, I'll take that as a positive thing and put the X in the square for 00. And we have gotten things started off. Thanks, Jim, and we'll catch you at the very end if you are still there. Otherwise, I'll check you in because I did hear you, SWL. Oh, I need to get the chart going here. For those following along at oldtuberadio.net, you should get a confirmation. Yeah, see, my main page is not updating. It's like it's totally down. That's strange. Now it just updated, I think. Let's see if SWL number 1 shows up. Yeah, that's good. How about SWL number 2, Mr. OBP, who is waving a hand at oldtuberadio.net on the YouTube side to say hello to Mr. Kevin. If when you check in, I see the Sheriff of Nottingham, Friar Tuck, I should say. Wayne, hello to you. And DD21 is about standing by for the check-in. SWL3, I will get 3 checked in as I saw him Thursday night at the bowling alley, where I think he did much better than I did. He had a better night, so things were good. How about SWL4? SWL5? SWL6? SWL7?
SWL7 checking in.
All right, and you're hearing me okay, like a normal type thing?
Yep, sure am.
All right, I think it's just some of my internet stuff that's doing weirdness here. I'll get you with a check-in on the main page. Let's see if that updates. It should say checked in. Yes, it does. All right, thank you. That's how you know if I'm on the ball. If you're over at oldtuberadio.net, you will see the roll call at the top of the page. Say we go to somebody like SWL11, and it will say checking in. And when I say SWL11 has checked in, the email, it changes to checked in. So little known fact, you can tell if the net control is actually doing his job here. So 11 and 12 are checked in. How about SWL13? And I will try and keep my eye out on the page as well for those of you checking in on the digital SWL side. SWL 14. Okay, there's somebody with really bad audio. Try it again. Now there's no audio. Keep at it. Let me see if SWL 15 is there.
Here he is, 1-5.
1-5 in the big town of Easton, which is still there and getting even bigger. I think they added another few racks to the Big Potato Market. Thank you, Fred. How about that station was trying to get in? Are you there now? Negative. SWL 16. SWL 17. SWL 18. Let's see, what do I normally do? Let me change the video over to, I think the video is working, to, what do we want? What we want is the nice Orban loudness meter. I think if I do that, there it is. All right, you can give yourself an audio check on the loudness meter when you check in. SWL, where are we at? Did we call 18? Yes, we did. SWL 19. SWL 20.
Number 20 here. Hopefully you can hear this radio over the noise.
Yeah, I hear it. Sounds great. Really nice audio. We'll talk about that. I like the fidelity of the audio coming through. Got you checked in.
Okay, also check in 29 and proxy in for next week. I'll be working. Anyway, this will be an item of interest. It's not mine. And it's going back to its owner tomorrow, I hope, along with another one. And I'll be checking those two and another one by me in tonight.
All right, good deal. It sounds good. You should listen to it on the... Assuming we're having an audio stream tonight with some technical difficulties, I think you'll like the sound. Very, very mellow, nice sounding radio. I'm looking forward to find out what it is, and I'm sure whoever is going to pick it up will be happy as well. Thanks, Harvey, for checking in. I know I've got the proxy for next week and the 29 as well. That takes us over to SWL 21, Mr. JT. Let me scroll down on the list tonight. That was last week, so I guess I scrolled down too far. You know, I was busy, and I didn't get a chance to listen to Old Radio Night, where I think they were featuring, you guys were featuring, what was the radio, the Mark III? So, oh, there you are. All right, I just had to refresh everything. The Wasama Swamp Superstation is requesting to be checked in. Well, your request is taken for the 16th day of March, and I'll have to listen to the replay. I wasn't able to get in on the net tonight. I hope all went well. JT SWL 21, and I didn't put the link up, does Old Radio Night from his location, similar to what we do here, putting various stations on the Universal Media NetWeb. What he does way better than we do here is feature his on-air radio. And I believe tonight, if I looked correctly, it was a Browning Mark III SSB. So I want to catch that. Thank you, JT. Over to SWL 22. SWL 23. SWL 24. Okay, I hear, I bet that was you. Joseph was trying to check in earlier. There's no audio, but there's a strange little oscillation that goes on. So when I unkey, give me a double key down that I know it's you, and I'll get you checked in. All right, good deal. I don't know what's happening. It's keying the radio. I must have heard your audio before. Now it's having an issue, but you knew that. So hopefully if you're needing to get out of here early, you can do that and put a Post-it note on that thing. It says check audio for your chore tomorrow. 24 is checked in. SWL 25.
Hello, Dennis. 25 checking in, and on the internet it sounds like you have two different feeds. One's a little bit delayed. Anyway, good to hear you, and thanks for checking me in.
Okay, I would suspect something is going on somewhere because I'm not able to... Am I able to listen to myself? I guess I could. I don't think I started two. Let me just check. That's the good thing. It says I'm on the air there, but it's very possible I could have started two. Let me see what I've got here. How would I listen in? And see, I can't monitor on the main page. It won't grab the audio. I wonder if that's because there's some strange thing. So maybe they're under two separate items. Let's see. Let me also look at the video page. Who's out there listening? Crazy Bob's in, Butterbean's in, DD21, Friar Tuck, OBP, and that is on the one. So I wonder if I started two, and there's other people listening on something. Where's it? Well, the Old Tube Radio Network Live, March 16th. 20 people watching. All right. So if there's two streams, hello to both of you. And hopefully the audio isn't wacky. So that anybody who's listening on the stream that says, what's the top page says? The Old Tube Radio Network Live, March 16, 2019. If there's another stream up, let me know. Also, let me know if you're hearing strange audio. Nobody said that yet. So thanks, Jerry. I will check it out because there was something very strange going on at the beginning here. So that's what happens when you add pictures to radio. Thanks for checking in. What is that, over? All right, sounds like you're right. KB6 GFT. Let's go over to page 2 if you're playing the home game. Probably doing much better than I am. SWL 27. Then we have a proxy check-in. If it works for SWL 29, Mr. Loner, we can do that. Nobody's at 30. SWL 31, and I did see a request. Let me go over to the page and refresh that. A request, I believe it was from SWL 31. Log me in 31 and SWL 31. Audio's okay now. Good. Yes on audio. Yes on audio. Thank you for the audio confirmations. It's just me. It's just not working here. Bozo Control must have been playing Pong or something on the big computer. He's not supposed to do that. Thanks, 31. Robert Treese out there in Hendersonville, Tennessee. Where are you in the grandstands tonight? Let me refresh. I didn't even look to see who's actually. Wow, a lot of people. Hello, Fresno. Hello, Fish Camp. Sandy, Utah, in the front row, coming up to you as well as Dallas, Georgia. So you guys will get good audio no matter what. Hello to Washington, Centerville, Virginia, Hendersonville, Tennessee. Got you in there. Clovis, Woodland Park, Colorado, or places close by. Sometimes the digital QTH isn't exactly where you're at. It's where your browser checks in. Hello to Maryland, Hickersdown, Somerville, South Carolina. From the Wasama Swamps, Spokane, Washington, Mariposa. Hello to Fayetteville, North Carolina. Come up to you. Florence, Kentucky, Inglewood, Colorado, Clayton, Georgia, Kerman, Colorado, Kerman, California, and a host of others. The Old Tube Radio Network here in Central California. Trying to keep it all together. SWL 32. SWL 33 is myself. I'm just not sure if I should check myself in. Not sure if I should do that. I'll do that. I'm pretty sure the jingle singers are here. We'll give it a try. I usually do it at the beginning, but there were some other things going on. I didn't want to have the weirdness of last week, so I picked up some new weirdness this week. Let's try SWL 35, where it was... I've seen the pictures, Bill, of the weather, of the massive snowstorm, and Bill is checking in from Cheyenne, so he's got must have the big steam shovel out there. He's able to get the mobile out and about. Mr. Bill, thank you for checking in, and I hope the weather is behaving or starting to behave. Let's try SWL 36. SWL 37.
37 here. Good evening, Dennis.
Good evening, Mr. Chris. We've got you checked in. You're sounding good.
Thank you. You're sounding good over this way, too. We'll be back in a bit.
I hope I can say that. I hope I'm back in a bit. SWL 39. SWL 40.
SWL 40, checking in from Chinatown.
Sounding good from Chinatown tonight. I don't hear any fireworks coming through the microphonium, so it sounds like all is safe and sound out there. Safe and sound out there.
Yes, it is. And don't forget, this coming Saturday, not tonight, but this coming Saturday is the swap meet at the, let's see, it's the K6ARP swap meet, the Clovis Amateur Radio Personnel swap meet, and the location's going to be at Olive and DeWolf Avenues, and it's going to be lots and lots of radio stuff for sale. It starts at, I believe it starts at 8 a.m. Yes, probably about 8 a.m.
And that is next Saturday, correct?
Yes, and I think somebody might want to make a correction on that.
All right, who's the station? Go ahead.
Okay, well, okay, anyways, yeah, so there you go. Be there or be square.
Be there or be square. All right, well, be something. Thanks for the info, and that is next Saturday at the location. Wow, all right, well, that's bad. I just lost... Oh, my video went away. What did I lose? Oh, I lost the Orban meter. There we go. Sorry about that. I was watching the video. The meter is back up. All right, thanks, Larry. SWL 41. Just do not add video to radio. SWL 42.
Good evening, Dennis. 42, 90, and 137 checking in.
The triple play, 42 at the microphonium, sounding good. That radio just sounding most excellent. Thanks for checking in. We'll get the others at the appropriate time. And that takes us to SWL 43. SWL 44, if I find the right control here, I do believe we have a hand waving from 44 who says he's only hearing 1 feet. I hope it's the right one, Ray. I hope you're not hearing one from next week or from last week. If you're hearing one from next week, go out and play the lottery because you're dialed into the future. We've got you checked in, Ray out there in Harriman, Utah, Mr. 360. Always listening just in case we might have some skip conditions. Let's try SWL 45.
Sounding good, Dennis. 45.
And likewise, also sounding good. Let me catch up on the SWL roll call sheet here. And Paul, if you are in the radio room a little bit later, we'll probably check some items in. Next is SWL 46. SWL 47. Yeah, now all of a sudden my stream audio is very low, and it says it's at the right level. So I'll bring that up and see if that works. SWL 47. You know what I didn't do? Sometimes I reset my computer before I start. I didn't do that, so maybe I'm in for a computer crash here. At least the radio will still be on. SWL 48.
You need to get 47.
And I hear 48. Sam, I hear you. Yeah, and I hear you on the regular one as well. SWL 48 coming through, KP out of Madera, and also on the crossband. Sounding good on the crossband, KB6GFD.
Chris, can I get a relay, please?
All right. Now I'm hearing 47 now. Hello, radio.
Okay, I'm moving locations around the pool. We're doing this old school greetings from the pool side. Radio patio, SWL 47.
Yeah, you're on the meter and above the noise. I think somebody heard you there earlier. Thanks. I think that was Joe. Thanks for the relay, Joe. And I perked my ears up as I was listening for Sam, who was making it on both AM and FM, and Mike, who is on the AM. So I hear you now, over.
Just how bad is my signal, just out of curiosity?
You are S8, and my noise level is at S7. So wherever you are right now, it's doing well.
Okay, this is taking me back almost 10 years. I found the exact location on the side of my swimming pool that tends to work well. I've been banished from the radio lounge. Don't have me doing old school tonight, sir.
Old school is working, and I hear you quite well. You know, you actually come in stronger when you're on Christmas Tree Lane, but I think you may actually be a bit closer. But sounding good now, and we've got you checked in. And thanks for the heads up there, as always. Listening more intently, but I don't have to now because you sound good.
Thank you, and everyone always sounds great on the QRC217 in the backyard. So thank you, and back to you, sir. Thanks.
All right, I'm having all sorts of strange little gremlins on the digital side tonight, so I think my attention gets altered to the wrong items here. But everybody says the digital side is working fine, so I'm just going to ignore all my stuff. Thanks for checking in, Mike. And I will remind stations that we will be talking with the glow-in-the-dark tube radios after the roll call. So if you've tuned in for that, please stay with us. About 15 minutes from now, and we'll have your favorite radios as we talk to some of our stations that have the tube radios and some that don't. The shortwave listeners, we've been doing this for a long time. Just want to acknowledge those stations listening in, enjoying the program, as I do myself. Waiting for those tube radios to check in tonight. 47 is in. 48 is in. Looking for SWL 49. And if Brian is around, he will be checking in at oldtuberadio.net, probably out of Wisconsin, so I'll keep an eye out on the big board, SWL 50.
50 checking in.
SWL 50 sounding good and loud as always. We've got the X in the square for your mark, which we've done hundreds of times, no doubt. I don't know, maybe even thousands of times. If you check in if you had perfect tens for a year, that's 52, right? And if you've checked in for 10 years, that would be 520. So yeah, you could literally have thousands of check-ins by now. Next we have SWL 51.
51 checking in.
SWL 51, Dave out of Sanger. I'm sure you have over 1,000 check-ins. I don't have a little counter. There's no little counter by your name, like the tote board for the telethons. But I know you're well over 1,000. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Dennis. Have a good evening.
If only we could find a sponsor. If you could get $1 for every time you checked in, right? We find that's a nice sponsor. It'd be nice sending out those checks. Let's try SWL 52. This is your not-for-profit Old Tube Radio Network. Sorry to say. SWL 53.
Hello, Dennis. 53 checking in.
Hello, Bob. Mr. Belair. Always patient. Get me slogging through the technical difficulties here. And as those playing the home game know, when we get to SWL 53, Bob checked in, we can turn the page. Thanks.
Thank you.
That would be page 3, top of which is SWL 54. I'm going to check in Larry, who is probably still reconnoitering from the lightning strike of weeks ago. So if you're listening, Larry, I hope you are getting things back in order. Let's head up to another one of our stations in the high altitude mode, where I don't think it's snowing. It was nice today. I think we're looking at 80 degrees coming up soon. SWL 55. I hear you. Not very well, but I hear you. Checking in from maybe the mobile or the antenna is down, but anyway, it's a good effort. You made it on the S meter, and I'm checking you in. Thanks, Eminem. SWL 56.
Good evening, Dennis and the net. SW 56, just for kicks.
SWL 56, where the signal always works over there. I need your secret, Phil, for error-free radio. It must be the steampunk. I think it's the steampunk over there that just keeps things running. When you have all those little gears and knobs and spin wheels and items going on, you're always going to key up somewhere. Thanks for checking in. SWL 57. SWL 58.
58 from beautiful Biola, checking in. Thank you, Dan.
Very nice audio, by the way, Jeremy. Good audio. And there is, I will remind people, you can do a replay. If you go to oldtuberadio.net and look for the video replay. And then if you go to oldtuberadio.net, there's also the archives, which is an MP3 audio replay. And if I did things correctly tonight, which I have no idea the way things started out, we should be on the SWL roll call. And I think it's the SWL roll call archive for this date. And then you scroll in on your Universal Media Network player and you will hear your great audio. Let's see. Who's next? Let's try SWL 59. I'm always afraid to hear the replay because then I hear me. I'm thinking, did I really say that? SWL, here's somebody I know will be checking in. SWL 60.
Thank you much, Dennis. Doggone it. I know I don't have 1,000 check-ins, but we're working on it. And by the way, let's check in Phil. Doggone it, he asked me to check him in. And let's get this, what is this, DX2527, Big Jake's bass checked in.
We will do that. I bet there are 1,000 check-ins on that 2527. If you put a notch on the post-it every time that radio had been checked in on the many post-its, I'm sure it's up to 1K. Sounding good. Nice audio tonight as always. Thanks, Joe. Then we go over to SWL 61.
51 checking in, Dennis.
Good signal into Midtown Fresno tonight. Copenhagen Kid. Thanks, Gene.
Thanks, sir.
Beautiful downtown Clovis. And Lucky Lindy. Hello, Rex 62.
Good evening, Dennis. This is 62 checking in from beautiful downtown Clovis.
I bet it was beautiful today. The trees are blooming on Pulaski Avenue. The street sweepers probably came by last night. 5th Street is so clean you could eat Ice cream off the sidewalk. Anyway, Rex, you are sounding good.
Thank you, Dennis. Next week.
Next week, the Old Tube Radio Network. And Rex is a station that has well over 1K check-ins for sure. He's been with us a long time. Let's try SWL 63. That is BB out of New York or parts somewhere. What am I doing? I'm checking the big board. That would be a first if New York, if there's not anybody from New York tonight. Maybe all my shenanigans at the beginning scared them away. Must be something going on in the Big Apple. I'll put a big circle here, and we'll see if it doesn't make it in a little bit later. SWL 64. A little bit closer to home, anyway. SWL 65.
65, checking in.
Oh, I was looking on the digital side, and you have a super good signal here on the audio side. Thank you, Mr. Marshmallow. Eric at the microphone. Him sounding good.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Then where are we going? SWL 66. And you think after doing this thousands of times, I would get the hang of it. The Bob and Steve Show. I haven't checked in over there. Out there in Ohio, get you guys checked in. They're running cock to WLW to call them the 50K. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed that video. Big station. That's one of those eccentrics back in the 30s, back during the Depression, one of those eccentric millionaires that was his hobby, that radio station. Just spared no expense on the best of everything. Managed to get the 50K or 50,000 watts. No, I'm sorry, 500,000 watts. Nobody got that. Maybe XERB, but that was a station. I'm going to re-look at that, and then the tour. So I'll have to remember about that tour. So they're you guys are calling the 50K side. Yeah, you'll have to stand by for some of those stations. You ever hear Skipland on 11 meters when it's in? You know, some of those guys are running 50K, and I think it's from the mobile. In the green room with the jingle singers. And they like you. They like you. They really like you. Thanks. Thanks from Ohio. Continuing on with the roll call, we'll have radios coming up if I manage to get through this. Let's try SWL 67. SWL 68. SWL 69. Mustang 2. Doing a good job here in the Midtown Fresno tonight. Thanks, Ken. And here's a station that has been known to check in with a tube radio R2, SWL 70. Might be out there checking the tubes. And here's a station that would check in every week on a tube radio if I were to have that antenna that WLW has or had at one time. Mr. Stan, SWL 71 out of Dallas, Georgia, of the Pierce Simpson Guardian fame and even more. I see you on the board, Stan. We got you checked in, and if I click the button, it says you are checked in. Good deal. Who is next? SWL 72. And I would say I would like to try the Echolink tonight, but with all the problems I'm having with the other computer, I think it's probably safe I shouldn't do that, because then I may blow something up totally. So I think it's best I not do that tonight. Set something up for future episodes. But the audio works really well when I get it going. SWL 73. SWL 74.
Hello, Dennis. you'd proxy at 74N, that'd be great.
It would be great, and that is what I'm going to do. If we got 74 with the green light. Thanks.
Thank you. It gets a little warmer out here in Radio Shack. She'll be out here.
Yeah, that'll be fun. So we're looking for some 80-degree temperatures. I see rain is on the way again, but it is March. Heck, golly gosh, it's the middle of March, so we should be doing some good stuff. The trees are blooming. The fruit trees are blooming. Spent most all day just trying to weed whack down all the grass and weeds and things that are happening, and I didn't even make a dent. It does look better in some spots, though. Let's, who are we looking for? SWL 75. SWL 77.
Yeah, good evening, Dennis. 77 on the old Tower of Power in the Tower District. Checking in, waving a hand to all the listeners, and you mentioned 11-meter DX. I got to talk into central Venezuela, Santiago, Chile, and the Yucatan Peninsula this afternoon. So there is a little bit of things happening out there. You just got to go find them.
As always, you've got to be in the right place at the right time. That is the South Valley, the very South Valley. I think I heard the mini-grass earlier when I walked by, I had the radio on, but I did not hear South America and stations like that. So, yeah, I got to be in the right place at the right time. I was reading something in QST magazine with the QRP guy saying, you know, that 5 watts, if you just hit it right, 5 watts can work. You've got to get in before the big guns. I was listening to your 50 milliwatts, which I was actually hearing. So you should try. You'll have to try some QRP sometime. See how low can you go? SWL 77, sounding great. Nice audio. And a big signal from the tower. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you.
SWL 78. SWL 79. I heard 79 in earlier. Wasn't sure if he was going to be able to hang out, so I will get you checked in, DC, if you're listening in or listen to the archives 3 years from now. You did get checked in. SWL 80. Over to page 4, the patient people, SWL 81. And I'm thinking, well, it's March, April, May. They usually have the big street sale out where he's at. That may be coming up in about 30 to 60 days. Have to check with Mr. Unicorn. Always fun to go through that. SWL 82.
82, checking in from the ditch banks of Biola.
Wow, somebody must have weed whacked the ditch banks, because the weeds are no longer choking off the signal, sounding very loud and clear as always, sir, and we've got you checked in.
Thanks, Dennis. I know, there's another guy in Biola. He's pretty loud, too. All right, have a good night.
It is the Biola duo, and I'm not that close. Biola is like way on the other side of where I'm at. I'm getting in the Midtown here. And then we have 89 via the crossband, and I had it up loud enough to actually hear it. So let me just skip some, since I'm actually on that page. Mr. YLE. That's what I have your handle as, at YLE. That's really old. Maybe I should change it to OSX, but that's how long you've been on the sheet, Darren. Your handle is YLE. We got you checked in. Sounding good, sir. KB6GFE. So Darren is in. Let me skip back to, we got 82. How about SWL 84? Over to Reedleytown, SWL 85. I don't know why my stream audio is so low tonight. SWL 86. SWL 87. SWL 88. Moments ago, SWL 89 checking in via the crossband. SWL 90 on the triple play. Number two, I can talk. Number 2 of the triple play from 90. Next we go to SWL 92. Man, I just looked at the clock. Thanks for everybody staying up late for the check-ins tonight. We'll go a little extra on the radio check-ins, too, to make sure everybody can get checked in who needs to. 92? SWL 93?
93 checking in, and, okay.
Okay, yeah, someone said you were working in the other room. I wasn't sure, but there you are, right in the radio room and sounding good. Got you checked in. Thanks, Louis.
Thank you much. I'm just waiting for the old tubers to come back through, and we're on site.
Yeah, I'm trying to expedite here so we can do that. Some, as usual, technical difficulties on my end, slowing things down, but everybody else is stepping up to it and making it go fast. Thanks. And I think I may have heard this station before the net. I hope you're able to hang out and still there, Dave. SWL 98.
Checking in, Dennis.
Wow, sounding nice and loud. You must have the truck pointed this way.
Yeah, you're sounding good too. Thanks for the check-in.
544, Fresno Dave, sounding good. I remember the days when we used to point the ground plane towards Monterey and hope for some backscatter conditions, but this is much better. A station I will check in if he's not there because he was in earlier and sounding okay. Mr. Cheesy Ease, 103. Hello, Jeff. But he was in earlier. I know the radio check. He's mobile only. So you got to get it while the getting is good on the mobile radios. Let's try, so Jeff, if you're listening, you're checked in. SWL 109. SWL 110. I'll try it over the air. I'll check the big board as well. SWL 111. Says he's lost me. Oh, wow. All right. But he did hear me at some point, so we'll get Bob checked in out of Reedley Town, 111. He can do a good job when the conditions permit from Reedley Town. Let's try SWL 113. Actually, that's a digital check-in. Let me refresh comments and see if we have Arlen in. No, don't see 113. SWL 114.
114 checking in.
Now the digital check-in. I tell you, Wayne, that radio just seems to get louder and louder each week. And I know you probably don't do a thing to it. It just sounds good. A consistent, good-sounding audio. Thank you for checking in.
Thank you for the check-in.
That is hard to do in the 11-meter world, to get your radio to sound good and then to just leave it alone, to sit on your hands and say, you know what, it's good, and I'm going to leave it that way and not add to it. But Wayne has certainly figured that out. A lot of stations sound good here on the Old Tube Radio Network, and you can hear your playback if you go to the archives. We have them since what, 2012 now? That server is getting heavy. It's getting heavy with all those digital bits and bytes. Let's try SWL 128. That would require me to actually go over to the digital big board and check for John Lee, who's usually like very punctual at being the first one to get checked in when I get the stream going, and that is the case. As I do see Mr. John Lee saying yes on the audio, so I'm glad you can hear me. Wish I could hear you out of Fairfax, Virginia. Might be able to do that someday. 10 meter AM is going to be opening up soon. Try some AM on 10 meter AM for all those of you who can do that sort of thing. Thanks, 128. Who else? Let's go a little bit more local. SWL 131. And staying local, SWL 133.
Good evening, Dennis. 133 checking in.
133 out there in Northwest Fresno. There's another station that always has good audio, good consistent audio on 11 meters on AM. It would play well on 75 meters for sure. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Dennis.
SWL 135. think I was supposed to proxy in Cliff. I will do that. Even though Cliff may not be here on the audio side, you will see, many of his fine photography tonight as we check in the radios, typically. I'll try and give him credit where credit is due when I check in a radio with the 135 pictures. We really appreciate the great pictures from Cliff. Let's try 137. That's a check-in. The triple play is now complete with the Phantom checked in. Over to, are we making it to Coursegold tonight? SWL 145.
Yeah, thank you, Dennis. 145 with the St. Patrick's Day wave.
That's right. It is coming up, St. Patrick's Day. I think I'm going to be out of town. Normally I do a over-the-air radio show for St. Patrick's Day with all sorts of great music. I won't get a chance to do that this year. But I'll be humming the tunes. Sounding good, as always. Thanks for staying up late here tonight to get checked in. Sounding good, Tony.
Hey, Dennis. Yeah, I'd like to give a shout-out to Wayne and Larry there for helping me get this thing dialed in.
Yeah, S9 on the meter and just really loud audio, so thanks to all the stations that know how to do it.
Well, enjoy the rest of the weekend, everybody.
That's going to be nice. Maybe some rain coming up. SWL 147, station we could hear. I think he said he's a 6-call. He's got a 6-call. Neil occasionally, I think, sneaks into the Central Valley. But, of course, in Kakalaki, where we find him tonight, reporting the weather's still cool but warming up a little. Yeah, we're in the 70s today. Missed all the northeast storms this year. That might be a good thing. Radio's very quiet. As you heard, Neil, we did have a little skip coming in from South America and Hawaii today, this afternoon. Not very loud. So 73 to Dr. Jazz in the Carolina Sandhills. Keeping it tuned up and ready to go. Thanks, Neil. And we're coming to an end here. Sorry for the late roll call tonight. I still have some strange issues going on, but everybody says it sounds good, and it's over the air is doing well, so I think we'll be able to hear everybody. The guy that got us started off is 00. If you're still there, Jim, wave a hand to us. SWL 195, taking some time out of the Sunday, and the Saturday, it might be Sunday by the time we get done, the Saturday evening activities to stay in the radio room and do the bookends for us tonight. And then let's see if Jeff, SWL 226, is around. Any stations I missed or would like to check in now? I am listening for SWL check-ins. Over. Who was that? Over. 650, waving a hand. As always, making sure that we did the roll call correctly. I think I did, even though I got stuck with a few technical difficulties. Everybody seems to think that things are okay. And hope all is well. The grass is probably growing now. Yeah, the frost is on. Foot switch not working. The frost is on the pumpkin, but the frost is gone and the pumpkin's not planted. So all is clear. Thanks for checking in. Okay, well, that'll give me time. I'm going to just do some quick technical checks. What do I do? Change the audio stream over to the tube radio check-ins. No, you know how I've been neglecting the video page tonight. Let me go over there and see what's going on. DD21 is in. Mr. KUH. The Mighty Brian is waving a hand. Juliet Whiskey. Out of Zero Land. Thanks, sir. DD21. Butterbean from Northeast Georgia. Crazy Bob. Hello from South Jersey. Good to have you on board tonight. Smarty Jones, of course, from New York. So New York is there. I apologize. I was checking in New York, and I thought nobody was there, but Smarty is, of course, keeping the big iron alive and well as we approach the midnight hour, or past it, perhaps. DD21, the Friar Tuck, and OBP. So, okay, video side's looking good. We're going to be back in a minute. We'll keep the video up. I won't change that, but I will reset the audio side, and I'm back in a moment. We'll be checking in radios in the old Tube Radio Network. You know, let's do something. Let's, at the top of the hour here, and I think this is going to work. I haven't checked it. So before we sign out of the audio side, let's check in with the jingle singers. Then we'll. You guys in the studio don't go away, because I'm going to ask you to do it again when we start the video section. But here we go. Let's see if the audio is working on the jingle singers.
How do you do, ladies and gentlemen? Greetings to you, wherever you are. For music and the latest news from home and from afar, the station for you is
OTR, Old Tube Radio.
the station for you is
OTR.
Well, that appeared to have real audio flavor on both the radio side and the digital side. We'll be back in a moment with your Tube Radio check-ins.
FYI, there's an Adobe Flash update that came in on my Linux computer, so sometimes Windows will have the same update. You might need to update.
Hello from Madera Town on the extremely low antenna. Over. Okay, I'll get it. You know, I heard somebody, but it was just noise. Typically, I'll be able to make it out of the probably error on the line. I'll go ahead and acknowledge it. Thanks for that. I was hearing something out there. It wasn't interesting with audio. Thanks. KB6. And Chuck, SWL92, we just got a relay on the crossband. You know, I think I was hearing you, but it's not enough. It's in my noise to not be able to decipher the audio. So if you're hearing me, we got you checked in from Madera. I'm actually getting your signal, but no audio. So we put the pieces of the puzzle together. SWL92 Chuck out of Madera, who typically does a good job if I actually get my antenna in the air where it should be. So thanks for waving a hand, Chuck. And we do have you checked in. And thanks for the crossband relay. Back in a moment with your Tube Radio check-ins. Yeah, I got a relay on the crossband. It worked out great. Back in a moment. All right, I think I am back. Hello on the video side, and we just hopefully reset the audio link up, even though I can't really tell because my browser's not functioning. I have the Old Tube Radio list, which I'll go ahead and sign in, and this is March 16th, 2019, as I actually check my date. Here on the Old Tube Radio Network, we have been on the air talking about radios, Old Tube radios, for about the last 34 years. And just recently, as of about 5, 8, 6, 7 years ago, we started doing the online audio item and the video section to expand a little bit. And it's really gratifying to see how many other people out and about on 11 meters do the same thing with whether it's an old radio night or a radio night or just get on the air night like we've been doing for 34 years featuring the tube radios. So I have the video up, the audio is up streaming, and we'll see if things don't blow up. If they do, we still have the radio going on over here, and we'll be talking to you with your tube radios. It's a little bit late tonight. I'm going to do the jingle singers one more time to make sure they're working, then I will try to not talk too much so we can get as many radios checked in as possible on the Old Tube Radio Network.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you, wherever you are. Your favorite slot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
The station for you is
OTR.
The station for you, OTR. Let me just check in on the Universal Media Net Web. SWL 72. That is Radio Boy. Long time no hear. If you're listening, Miguel, thanks. We got you checked in. And Bob and Steve, who are running the coax out of the WLW tower to call. They are going to use the 50 kW station, so it might work on 27285. I think that's 28. That's where Motor Mouth Mall hangs out. But they are going to hang out with the Jingle Singers tonight and make sure things work. Without any further ado, the Old Tube Radio Network is listening for radio number 1.
45.
45 and 25. 45 has been marked into the Radio 1 just by order of appearance, because they're all, right? They're all number 1 in our books here at the Old Tube Radio Network. Radio number 2 will be SWL 25, so as always, Jerry will be heading over to the green room with the Jingle Singers and Bob and Steve and whoever else is up in the green room tonight having the big party, but be monitoring. Jerry, listen to the monitor, because when we call you, we want you there, right? That's not a warning. That's just how it works. In the meantime, at 9:11 Pacific Daylight Time, at least I did remember to set the... No, wait a minute. You know, I don't think I set that clock. But it is 9:11. I'm showing 4:11 UTC, and oh, that's right. UTC doesn't change. We change, assuming I did it. But in the meantime, I'm logging you in as 911 Paul. If you are in front of the microphonium, I'm ready to take your check-in. Over.
Okay, well, I kind of double up on my radios. I couldn't put this Demco satellite away, so I brought it out again, and hopefully later on, if I can get it going, I got a mobile to go with it, so we'll see how it works. I tried to cut this thing down a little bit. It's so loud before when I have it on the archive. Does it sound any better?
It sounds great. It sounds great. I want to see if I get the right picture for it. So it's a Demco. You've got the Demco satellite base station. I think I actually have the picture that is your radio station. So let me dial it into the camera here. Might take a little bit, and then we'll go back to you for a transmission. Over.
Okay. Well, we'll see how it works this way. I can always turn it down some more, but it was too loud when I heard it on the archive. It's too loud for my ears. My ears are shot anyway. This thing gave me a little trouble with the receive now, so it's a good thing you could have
stay in here on the bench and probably put a tube or two to the thing when I put it out. But anyway, this thing has some real neat things on it. It's got the control switch on it and everything. It just does everything. It's got so many lights and knobs on there that I forget how to operate it all one time, so I go through it. It comes back slowly, but then it goes away again. That's the way it is. Anyway, thanks for checking in, Dennis.
Thank you for bringing it by. It looks good. I found the picture. Your audio sounds good. I was adjusting some things. It's just, I've got gremlins in the digital side tonight. Anybody coming in the radio sounds good, and we've got the big Demco picture there. So I'm gonna, if you can hear me, Paul, I'm gonna make you do one more transmission. I'm gonna ask you to do one more transmission because this is such a great radio, and we don't get the full compliment that often. And I want to make sure those who missed it last week and are Demco fans, and I know we have some out there, get to hear it again. And I think you've got it dialed in just right. So back to you for another transmission.
Yeah, okay. I'd love to hear on the archives anyway. I'm sorry I got a shoot going bad on the thing, which is normal. We only got 17 on in the radio, so I got lots of problems. Anyway, thanks for checking it in, Dennis.
Thanks for bringing it by. The radio we were talking about, the Demco satellite base station, and that is Paul. Let me get the microphone where it should be here. Paul, SWL45, checking in. Let's see if I got any info on that. 1966, 23 crystal controlled with variable tuning. Oh, we have an operator's manual. If you go to oldtuberadio.com, is that it? Yeah. oldtuberadio.com, search the archives. It's showing that we have an operator's manual for that you can maybe download. That'd be kind of interesting. If you've got one or you're aspiring to get one, get the operator's manual first, and then draw a picture of it and work all those knobs, because it will work a lot better if you practice. That's a radio which you need practice. Thanks, Paul, for the Demco satellite. Let's go over to SWL25 at 9:15. Over.
Hello, Dennis. 25 checking in on a general radio telephone. Over.
I like that over. I got that from the big-time radio guys on 75 meters and on 10 meters. When they're keying up on their big iron radios, and they turn it back. They on their roundtable transmissions, they turn it back to the group. They do an over. And you know they are back out. So give me another transmission on the radio again, and tell me what it is. So tell me what it is again, so I can get the right one on my archive. It's coming up wrong here.
No, that's okay, Dennis. A general radio telephone MC5, and I did hear a little bit on your live stream. And I understand what you're talking about on the audio. It's a little, I don't know, it's just a little weird. But anyway, at least it's working well enough to get it checked in. So, 8-channel transmit via it's a secret little...
Oh, we'll talk about that secret a little bit. I'm trying to get the radio here. My aspect ratio is a little bit off. Paul's got a great picture. This is we're seeing the radio from the collection of Paul, who just checked in with his Demco satellite deluxe or satellite station, and then we're going to use his picture of the MC5 with your audio, and I know you will be proud to have. I also want to show the microphone. I don't know which microphone you're using. We're showing a big, looks like a waffle, part of a waffle iron. What kind of microphone are you using on that?
Actually, Dennis, it's a Turner Plus 3B. I know you're not supposed to, it's not recommended to run a amplified mic with it, but that's the only thing I had that seemed to work. So anyway, at least it gets it back on the air.
Yeah, it's back on the air. The audio sounds good. It does have a bit of a tone quality to it. I think we've discussed that before, so maybe that's That's what the MC does when it gets amplified. I don't know, but you've got a great signal and everything like that. 1962, when the MC5 came out, really good selling radio for them all through 1963. They advertised it a lot. Anybody, if you've got a late 1962 or 1963, any type of CB catalog, you will probably most likely see an ad for the General Radio Telephone. It was like the MC4, but it had a stronger transmitter, and it was the last General Radio Telephone with the tone signal, thanks to the FCC, replaced with the bullhorn in the MC6. So before you go, we'll talk about the tone signal. If you're looking at the video, it is the button. I'll point it with the mouse. It's the switch right below the S meter that says tone signal, and I will defer to you, Jerry, to tell us what one has to do on that 7-tube radio to engage the tone signal, which I think you're going to do for us. Over.
Yeah, well, actually, it's a spring-loaded button or switch. And, you know, I can't figure out what the purpose would be unless either want to jam somebody or have somebody else that maybe across town that instead of calling them, you just hit the button. I don't know. But anyway, here it goes, Dennis.
Yeah, well, there it is. I think if you were doing it right back in 1963, you would use it to actually call another station where you could turn the volume down a little bit and turn up the squelch, and you would hear the tone signal coming through, and it would alert them to turn the volume up a little bit more and wait for the call. It could be and was used for malicious intent, jamming frequencies, but we know that's not the way it's done here on the Old Tube Radio Network. I'm going to say good evening to John, Mighty Juliet Whiskey, who's got an early morning coming up. So thanks for hanging out with us and checking in a few radios. And maybe we will, like I said, I might have my act together next week, John, and we will try for some Echolink stuff again. Radio sounds good, Jerry. The MC5 had a nice ceramic chrome-plated. It's Electro Voice. So the original microphone for that is an Electro Voice. If you ever find one, it'll be interesting to see what it does. But it's got plenty of audio. We haven't really played with that. You said it's a plus the amplified. So we'll not tonight, but we'll maybe do some. I mean, maybe we have before. I don't remember. Do some level testing. See what the radio likes. You probably got it maxed at the right spot. I'm thinking it may have an audio tube in there that's not quite happy, but it gets plenty of audio. And the tone still is 100% modulated. So thanks. Thanks for bringing it by. You are Radio 2.
And thank you, Dennis. And by the way, thank you for the crossband long path on the 10-meter net last Wednesday. That was fun. Anyway, back to you, Dennis. Thanks for checking it out.
Yeah, wait a minute. Don't go away. You brought up something, and I want to mention that. SWL25, Jerry is one of the net controllers for a Wednesday night net we have here on 10 meters, upper sideband, of course, at 28,445. And I would like to get that out because as the conditions change, a lot of the stations who are listening, who are also licensed amateur radio operators, want to tune in to 28,445. Give us the time, give us the date on the net, over.
Yeah, okay, on CW is 7 o'clock Pacific time. 0200 UTC time for CW check-ins on 28.140 megahertz, and of course 0300 UTC time on 28.445 megahertz every Wednesday every Wednesday. So there you go, Dennis.
There it is, and that's here in Central California. But as you know, we do get E-skip at night, so it might be something to listen into if you're if you're in the area. Please check in. A lot of you do. I recognize calls and voices. And if you're out of the area, give it a listen on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. get out your UTC calculators and listen for us on either the CW frequency or the upper sideband frequency. Thanks, Jerry, for doing that. Now that it's getting lighter, darker later, sometimes I go outside and I forget that the net is on because it's not dark. Let's see, who are we? Thanks to, over on the video side, it's Jess there saying that he has a Citaphone SS23. We have not checked. We used to have a lot of Citaphones back in the day. I know OBP remembers the Citaphone SS, and there was a couple of the other ones that would check in, but have not heard one in a while. So I'm going to mark that. I think what we should start doing is if you have run an old tube radio sometime during the week, officially fired it up and taken a transmission, you should post that and let us know, and we'll add it to our also heard list on there. So we've got one, the Citaphone SS23CC. Thanks, Jess. And we have been doing this for 34 years. Just recently, within the last 7 years or so, started doing the video and the streaming audio. So we welcome you aboard here, and hopefully you do something like this or can do something like this from where you are in your location. We are here in the Central Valley of California. That's the skip zone that happens here. Looking for radio number 3 on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Break OTR.
And the HE20C, I'll put some pictures up there when it gets slow. It's the Lafayette. The break OTR in Tennessee. All right, we have SWL 31. Robert and Teresa. SWL 31. Robert and Teresa have been checking in. They were one of our first digital SWLs when we went over the Universal Media NetWeb. Been on for a long time. They're out in Hendersonville, Tennessee. The breaking station, I'm writing down 37. I'm writing the Charlie Hotel Romeo India Sierra, and I'm going back to you. Over.
Roger. Yeah, good evening, Dennis. I would like to check in an Old Tube Radio if that's all right with you.
That is okay with me. That's what I get paid for. Or do I get paid? I don't get paid, but that's what I'm supposed to do when I'm sitting in this chair and not talk so much. So please do. I think I know which one it is. It has great audio, and we will talk about it.
Okay, well, I am on my Courier Royale. Scratch that.
Yeah, he is testing. For those who are new, he is testing net control, and net control didn't fall for it. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, Dennis. I'll be honest with you. I'm checking in my general radio telephone, the Super MC 11A 24-channel tube that glows in the dark with a handheld stock microphone. It's working. Everything is swinging that way. So if it's swinging that way, it must be going your way.
Yeah, it's sounding good. It's one of those radios that checks in that actually sounds better. When I listen back on the archive, whether it's the audio or the video archive, this is one of the radios that sounds better than net control. And I'm going directly into the sound card with a Heil microphone and a whole bunch of expensive audio gear, and then a radio that's 40 years old, like the one we just heard, and we'll be hearing again. The Super MC11A comes in, and it's running through the receiver here, and I don't do much audio processing at all for the incoming radios. I try and keep them as they sound, so when you do your replay back, you can hear how your radio sounded, and then it's like, how can he sound better than me? But he does. Take a transmission.
Whenever you figure that out, let me know. When you think I sound better than you do, you all sound pretty damn good.
Yeah, well, I'm on the Heil microphone, but you're on the stock microphone. If you're looking at the video, I'm going to scroll it up just a little bit because my aspect ratio is off. There's pretty close to what he's doing, the microphone, the stock microphone. The general radio telephone, the last couple of models, Super MC11, the 11A, had a special tube, the ECLL 800, the V6, I guess valve number 6, the modulator output tube. that really made a big difference in the quality of sound. And Christopher is probably, 4 or 5 miles from my location here, so he's not right down the street, even though he sounds like he's right under my antenna. Radio 3 from General Radio Telephone. It's 9 tubes. It has 2 transistors. Somebody said it was for a 12-volt power DC conversion thing, but it does have a couple of transistors. But running off the 9 tubes, and let's see, in December of last year, one of those sold on eBay in good working condition for $282, according to my notes here. So tell us about how you found that radio. Over.
Well, it was over here at the thrift store. My neighbor went to the thrift store, him and his wife, they go to them periodically. He come back to let me know, hey, there's a radio over there. Let's go check it out. So we went to the thrift store over here on Blackstone, and went in there and looked at it, and I said, how much? They said, well, I don't know, give us a price, and then it says senior citizens discount. I forgot what the price was before, but we got it senior citizens discount at $17.50 out the door.
There you go. It pays to pay attention. It pays to have great friends who know your hobbies, and it pays to be old. We've just proven it here. Radio number 3, General Radio Telephone, from beautiful downtown Burbank. This is at the end of their production run of radios. It was probably maybe the last of their line that I think was FCC type accepted. I think the MC-12 was not. And then the MC Super 100, which we haven't heard for a while, which was interesting, but still living on today, thanks to our great tube radio operators who take time out of their Saturday evening events to jump into the radio room and share them with us. And, of course, the old Tube Radio Network. And we've been doing this for 34 years because it's fun. Take another transmission. Chris, thanks for bringing it by.
Okay, well, Dennis, me and the old man in a wheelchair, we're going to turn this one off and reach over if possible.
All right, we can do that. The old Tube Radio Network. At the bottom of the hour, the jingle singers in our other studio are stepping up to the ribbon microphones, the Heil microphone, whatever microphones we have out there. And it looks like Bob and Steve are at the front. I can't really see, but they're ready to do that conducting thing that they do. They've got the baton. So here we go.
How do you do? Ladies and gentlemen, greetings to you. Wherever you are, your favorite spot on the dial by far is known to you as
OTR, the Old Tube Radio Network.
the station for you is
OTR.
Station for you, the Old Tube Radio Network, OTR at oldtuberadio.com, oldtuberadio.net, and just about anywhere else on a Saturday night when we listen for those classic tube radios from 1958 to 1978. And, JT, I stand corrected. I didn't refresh my page. And our first radio that checked in was the Demco. Man, where is the bells? I have a picture of your bells, and I don't know where they are. Because JT's got the Demco bells that he rings whenever the Demco, whatever Demco it might be, checks in. And I'll see if I can find them. And I'll post them up, because they have been rung. Thank you, JT, for reminding me we had the bell ringer.
37.
45.
And we got 37 and 45. Let's go 37. We'll take them in order. 37, you're Radio 4, and I hear you, Paul. You will be Radio 5, so hang out in the green room. We'll be calling you in just a minute at 9:31 Pacific Daylight Time. Let's head over to Chris, Mr. Go-Boy, and see what radio you have. Over.
Okay, Dennis. Well, this time here, I'm checking in on the Chris 23 Plus CB transceiver. 23 channel tube that glows in the dark. And this in here, we're running this in here also with the handheld stock microphone. The original.
Original microphonium. For some original microphonium audio, I will switch over to our and try and get it. I don't know where that's off tonight, too. Get the radio cam adjusted properly so we can all see a Chris 23 Plus as you give us another transmission. Over.
Yes, sir, and, it is actually working. I haven't had too many problems with this here recently. Normally I have to mess with it, beat it up and down, shake it a little bit, get her going, but, she's been cooperating with me here within the last 5 months or so anyway, so it's been doing like it ought to instead of me arguing with it.
Yeah, don't ever argue with your tube radios. A gentle tap on the top sometimes will help an errant tube, but you do want to be nice to them. And considering that these radios from 1958, 68, 75, 76, 77, what is it, 2019, March, for Pete's sake, they're still sounding good. They're still doing a great job here, so they were well built. Really, they were really well made from real stuff. Give us another transmission.
You betcha. Well, when I key this thing down, that needle just, bam, right up over there. Really good. All right, Dennis, I'm going to get out of here and, Sean, I'm doing almost 6 watts on this thing. I can't believe it. But anyway, I'm going to get off this in here and jump on another one after you finish with that one and try to get back at you.
All right, appreciate that. And Paul is coming up next here for Radio 5. The 23 Plus was I think it was a Panasonic chassis. It was made out of Japan. I have my notes say it was plate modulated, which probably was with a great audio. Could run 12-volt DC if you have the proper power cable in the back. More information if you've got a Sam's PhotoFax 45 on page 89, 11 tubes. And if you go to oldtuberadio.com and look for a Chris 23 Plus, it says we have an operator's manual. So you'll be able to find out what all those little switches and knobs do and figure out how to make the modulation light blink. Speaking of winking and blinking lights, Paul is stepping up to the microphonium out in North Fork. He's not very close to us here in town. We're in central Fresno, and he's up in the foothills, but he always does a good job on his radios, even when they are, well, I'll say at then high power. So we'll see what this one does. If you're hearing me, Paul, at 9:35, take a transmission, tell me what the radio is, and we'll see what we can do.
Okay. Well, this is my info I'll tell you about. It's my Demco Travelier Series B.
All right, the Demco Travelier Series, is that B as in Bravo, over? I got that it was the Demco Travelier, but I did not get the series model, over.
Uh-oh.
It has left the room.
Well, it did make one transmission, so I do have it on the list. I'm seeing if I can find a picture here. It sounded like it was having some audio items.
Transmitting, but not receiving.
All right, it says he's transmitting but not receiving. Well, we are hearing you, over. All right, I've got various pictures of the Travelier, so while you listen in, maybe do a few knobs here. Let me put up a photo of the Travelier from Demco. What a great looking radio, if I can get it in the frame there. There we go. That one is with, this is from Cliff's collection. Looks like it has a power supply. The Travelier, so obviously it was a mobile radio. It has the Demco modulator on it with this one. A cool microphonium, and there is the, boy, that would be a fun radio to do mobile, right, with the transmit, receive. Let me see if I got any information. 1963 to 1965. We've got some mic wiring. Let me stop transmitting and see if you're hearing me at all, Paul, on the Travelier, over.
37.
All right, we'll get you for Radio 6. I'm also going to switch to another picture. SWL81, Mr. Unicorn, Steve. There is his Demco Travelier with the modulator box, the power supply, what it looks like, and then he's using a D104 microphone. Interesting with the transmit-receive VFOs, obviously transmits crystal control, the meter in the center. And I've got one more picture. And Harvey, SWL20, also has a Travelier as well. So, Paul, are you hearing us at all on the Travelier? Over.
Contact.
And he even has an external speaker, which probably worked for the mobile radio as well. So, Radio 5, and we did hear the transmission, the Demco Travelier Series, I thought he said Series B. So when Paul comes back next time, we will find out for sure. Radio number 6 is Chris. Step up to the microphonium, Chris, but don't take a transmission quite yet, as I want to get in the breaking station, which I think should be on our SWL list. So we'll be right with you, Chris. The breaking station, go ahead.
Hey, thanks, Dennis, Chris, and Paul. 708, check in, please, Dennis.
All right, on the SWL side, the, let's see, the massive modulated Morgan Canyon radio, SWL70, and that is Mark, and I will get the official SWL board, and if you're watching the video or whatever, it says SWL70 is checked in, and it's probably a nice day up there today.
It was a beautiful day. Fantastic day. And it's a wonderful evening. Hey, thanks, Matt. Appreciate the late check-in, Dennis. Have a great evening.
All right, thanks. Thanks for that. Now, radio number 6. Chris, step up in the microphonium. I want to say hi to those over on the video side. Captain Keyboard, yes. Waving a hand to the network. Bozo Control, where is Bozo? He's over at the Jingle Singers. Step up to the, let me put on the auxiliary microphone. All right, Captain Keyboard will remember the honking proboscis. All right, that's enough, Bozo. Honking proboscis of Bozo Control. Why am I showing the S meter? You know what? I don't even have the right video on here. There is too many things to do. Do not add picture to radio. It just, you know what. So, hello, Captain Keyboard, and who else? Oh, Timtron. The Timtron from the mighty Northwest, who is saying hello to the net and everybody out in the Universal Media Net web. And everyone sounds good. I like that. Everyone sounds good on the 13 centimeter band, listening on his Wi-Fi. So I'm glad to know we are making the trip on the very shortwave radio. Shortwave. That's a true shortwave listener. All right, Chris, I'm done talking. Give us a transmission on Radio 6. Over.
Okay. Well, we're going to check in this time here on the Pretty Blue one. This is the G PowerMate by Gem Marine Products. 23-channel tube that glows in the dark. This is the Pretty Blue one, like I say. And we're running this here with the amplified D104 Lollipop. Over.
Sounding good. I will put a picture of that up. I'm not sure if SWL44 is still hanging in with us tonight, but he enjoys seeing this radio when I can get the video portion up. And there it is. So as we look at the Gem Marine Products G PowerMate from your collection, this is actually actual radio that you will be hearing transmitting when I stop transmitting and say, go ahead and Chris.
Yeah, so that was taken right here in the kitchen, right here on the stand, right here in my room here, for sure. Yeah, that one is actually my radio. Nobody else's. That one's mine. Well, it used to be somebody else's, but it's mine now.
20.
And 20, you will be Radio 7, if indeed you are doing a radio. And Radio 6 is Chris, Gem Marine Products G PowerMate, which shares the chassis, I think, with, what was the other one? Chris 23 Plus. It's that Panasonic chassis with the really great AM modulation, and they just changed around a few of the dial lights and modulation lights and gave it a PA, CB, or an S meter switch. But basically, if you look inside, they're all that same 11-tube style of great plate modulation. So it is on the list. You are official with the Gem Marine as Radio 6. Give us another transmission, and thanks for bringing it by.
Okay, well, actually, they both have a CB PA switch, and they both have the S meter RF meter switch also. The only difference is this only got a Mods light on the Chris. This here's got the Mods, the TX and RX light on this one. So anyway, that's the difference. Plus, this I'm running the amplified. That one there's run handheld. And this here's a modified microphone. I'm out, and who up another.
All right, thank you for the radio check-in. Hopefully those listening on the stream or the digital, I'm having some digital issues tonight. So if there's level differences and things like that, it's just some craziness going on. Those listening at 27085 are probably doing okay. I think my transmitter's okay, and of course they're hearing the radios live, as are you if you're listening to our stream, so should be no problem there. We have Radio 7. I think it's Radio 7. It's SWL20, so I'll be talking to him, and I wanted to check in on the video site. Captain Keyboard, has anyone broadcast from Nevada? Do we have any Nevada stations? You know, typically there are not a lot of stations from Nevada listening. It would be a certainly short hop e-skip kind of thing going on if we would hear something like that, and we might when the weather starts warming up. So we'll see. We do get the Arizona station, whose name I'm forgetting. Reverend Dr. Cherokee has made the trip a couple of times out there, Arizona, New Mexico way. So Nevada might be a little close even for the E-skip. All right, in that, are you there, Harvey? Over.
Yeah, Roger. I'm here. It's a Cobra Cam 88, somebody else's, and it'll get back to him tomorrow. Just wanted to put it on the air. How well can you hear me?
I hear you great. Well, that explains a lot of things. That explains the smooth audio. And I'll take a look for a Cobra Cam 88 photo here. Sometimes when I change the photo, the audio goes a little wacky. What do you mean no picture available? Well, anyway. The audio sounds good. Give us another transmission so you'll be able to hear it on the archives if you want.
Okay. I added something to it, as you can tell, because the owner has trouble hearing me. So I put this on in case he happens to be listening. And he likes it with the range boost on. Right now it's off. And I'm going to turn it on and hold the mic way far away. Okay, that's with the range boost on. Hello, 1, 2, 3.
All right, do me a favor. Do that same test, but without the Harvey range boost, because it was adding some strange anomaly thing that may or may not be the cause of that. And I can hear you, and we'll record it as well. So we've got that test up and running. Do another test without the range boost.
Okay. Turn those back down. This is with the range boost on. I might have the mic too high. It's an amplified D104.
All right. Well, it does amplify, but it brings in an AC note, a noticeable AC note, if you will, underneath the audio. So, believe it or not, the unranged boosted audio is very, very smooth. It is perfect. Over.
Okay. Well, I checked all the caps, everything in there. Everything seems fine. So I don't know why there's an AC with the range boost on. Could be the tube. Could be the fact that I have another radio on top. Anyway, I have to go to it because the owner might be listening for it. And then I have a third that I have to go outside, take out of a box and put in. So I got to be quick.
All right. Well, we're here. I'm going to extend the time a little bit tonight because we got started late. I'm still having technical issues on the video digital side, but I think on my audio on the radio side, we're doing okay. The audio is just stellar. When you're just running straight, no boost, no everything. It sounds like you. It's got a good low frequency note. It's got a good mid-range punch. Decent high-end punch. If you have a different microphone or had a different microphone, you could probably even punch the high end a little bit more, but it's very good. In fact, I think the audio is it is better without the range boost because it's adding a bit of an AC note. But other than that, even without the range boost, your range boost, it's sounding good. Over.
Okay, I've got the other radio on now. How does it sound?
It sounds good as well. When you say the other radio, I'll have you elucidate what that is, but nice clear audio and good signal as well. Over.
Okay, it's a Lafayette Comstat 25A. Range boost off. Range boost is on now. And I'm holding the microphone quite a distance away, so I don't flat top, I hope. I'm not going to turn on the other range boost.
No, don't need it. All right, the Lafayette Comstat, and I believe you said 25A. I'll get a shot of that. The audio is good without the range boost. It gets a little louder with the range boost, but it's just on the verge, and you can hear it. It's just on the verge of flat topping. If you hit it loud enough, you can hear what I would describe as just a pinch of flat topping. But the audio is nice and clean with it in the standard mode. Over.
Well, that's good to hear. I hear you fine. Alrighty. What I'm going to do is unhook these, and I have to take them out of the room and then bring another one in from outside that's in a box. So I think I'll have enough time to do it. So I'll let you go. And if those people heard the radio, great. If not, I did do a test with them, I think yesterday or day before. But now they can go to the archives and hear it over, how it sounds to you. Anyway, I'll let you go. Get that other one on.
37.
All right, 37 we got you, and I do have a page of the 25, the old school 25. That looks like a CB radio. That looks like a base CB radio. It can be knocked around in the car, up on the workbench. Might look okay on the dining room table, but before they started adding wood to things. And both sounded great. Without the range boost and the extra audio, the stock audio sounds really nice on that. Nice and natural, so no problems going on with that. Radio number 7, the Cobra Cam 88, and radio number 8, the Lafayette Comstat 25A. And did that do it, Harvey? You're telling me there's another radio coming up in a minute, right?
Be more than a minute. I've got to take these down, take them outside from radio room, another one in, and then set it up. So, a few minutes.
Number 20, check it in.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for bringing that by. Stepping up into the air chair right now for radio number 9, SWL 37. And just a reminder, you don't have to have any SWL numbers or any special numbers to check in a radio. If you find yourself within the sound of my radio voice and have an old tube radio you'd like to try out, just call for Net Control, and we will get you checked in. No prior experience necessary. Just want to reiterate that. Radio number 9 is and will be Chris stepping up to the microphone, and then Harvey, SWL 45, you can hear me. Harvey. Paul, SWL 45, if you can hear me, you'll be radio 10 after Chris tonight. So stand by there. Have some lemonade and whatever they do. Whatever they have in the green room, enjoy that. And we'll be right with you, Paul. In the meantime, Radio 9 with Christopher at the microphone. Go ahead, sir.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, Paul, you changed Paul's name on him real quick there, if I heard him when he keyed up first time. But yeah, he don't sound like Harvey. Him and Harvey sound like two different types of creatures. But anyway, Dennis, I would like to check in my Courier Royale. This is a 23-channel tuber. This here's got the mods light over there, and you got the transmit and receive light, and it's got all the knobs. Actually, got the blinking light, blink, 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 blink. Got I can't even say the word. That mysterious knob in the back for the mic gain. So that's probably turned all the way up anyway. And also, we're running this in here with also the D104 Lollipop. This is the TUG8 stand mic that I'm using on this in here, and it is amplified. So what you hear is what you get. And Dennis, not you, Dennis, but the other Dennis, this is the Courier you was talking about the other night. So it still works. I'm listening, Dennis.
All right, they're top of the line. Courier's top of the line radio. They had 3 models. I want to say they had the 23, perhaps a mobile. The Courier Royale was their top of the line model. They advertised it as their executive, made for the chief executive officer of the company, and it was. It had every possible feature, function, 23-channel lights, the mic gain control in the back. It looks like my video is glitching a little bit. Doesn't like the Courier, but we like it here on the audio side. And let me see if we've got information on that. 11 tubes. There's a service manual. If you go to oldtuberadio.com and search for the Courier Royale, it looks like there's a service manual if you'd like to find out more about it. It's in Sam's PhotoFax CB14 for those of you who have the collection. Maybe that's the one that's not missing. Hopefully that is the one that's not missing out of your collection. And it has the Collins 6 kilohertz mechanical filter, which means it makes me sound marvelous. Over to you.
Well, yeah, you know what's nice? This thing here, it's got different knobs for everything. Of course, you got your volume, squelch, on and off. Let's see, what is that there? That's the tune. Let's see here. All right, starting from left, you got squelch. It's got the tune. You can make it high, low, whichever. And then your volume, on and off volume right there. And then it has the tune in the radio. When you're off frequency a little bit, tune you in. And then it has a sensitivity, and then it has a quieting knob. So, it's got all the knobs, and it's got the CBPA switch, and also the S meter or receive meter, you go, RF or signal strength, whichever, you take your choice. And, and I told you I had the microphone there. I think I told you everything about it, but it's still mine, it's working.
And we're glad that it's working. And we're glad you brought it to the radio network tonight. Courier Royale is the radio. And who is that? I think you're talking about the Courier. Jess there on the listening in, watching in on the video, says that's the radio his dad used for years. Courier Royale, top of the line. It wasn't a cheap radio. It was. I don't think it costs as much as a Browning, but they still work quite well. Like I said, with the Collins, when you stick a Collins mechanical filter, try find one of those today. Probably $150, $200. Just for a filter. Courier put one in to make the receive nice. And yes, Jess, they did have it. They had a bag. All the pictures I have do not show the Royale bag, and it had something to do, I think, with the not soda pop drink by the same name. But there was the blue, or is that purple and gold bag that somebody have. I had a shot of that. I'll have to look for my picture that shows the Courier Royale bag with new. So that's what you need, Chris. You need the matching Courier bag that goes with that.
Yeah, maybe I call Seagram, see if I can have them make me up one.
Well, I think that's where it takes its shape and form from, maybe without copyright violations. Thanks for Radio 9. I know we've got Paul standing by at Radio 10, and Harvey wants to get back in there again. Let me go back to the control room camera, but we always like the Courier, to get the Courier online, as it was their line radio. And it's still working strong here in 2019. Thanks for bringing it by. Now, Radio 10, Paul, Mr. Falcon, are you still listening to us? Over.
Well, you can't call us 10. I got that Traveler going again, and it coughed out again, so it's going to have to go back on the bench. Maybe I get lucky with it. I'll give it to Harvey. That's about it. Good luck on getting 10.
Okay. We heard you fine. It was transmitting. Or it took a transmission, I should say. And I got it logged in. It didn't sound, I will say it didn't sound as good as it could have. But it made the transmission correctly. And was it I need to get some info on the title. It was a Demco Travelier, and was it Series B as in Bravo, over?
Yes, it's a Series B. It's one with all the extra tubes in the thing.
Okay. Doing good, and that's what I logged it in. So we'll hopefully look for it with a longer transmission in future episodes.
We'll be working on it. I'm going to try it again. I had it this far, so I think I can clean it up, maybe, hopefully. Thanks, Dennis.
Indeed. Okay, so with that in mind, I think we might be able to get into double-digit radios tonight with Radio 10. Let's head over to the west side and the magic radio room where a lot of the radios that you have heard on the old Tube Radio Network over the years may have been on the workbench over there at one time or another, keeping the old Tube Radio sound up and running. Hello, SWL20. Hello, Harvey.
Hello. Yeah, number 20 on a Browning R2700A receiver and a Browning compact 11-channel transmitter.
Ooh, I think I don't have these in my archive. And so I'm going to have to search for them. Before we do that, let me take a little bit of your time. And I want to see if I can find it there. I want to put it in the shot. We're talking about the Courier Royale, and I think I may have found the picture I was looking for. Yes. Okay. I'm gonna swap over to the radio cam here, and there is the Courier Royale case cover that goes over the radio, and over on the video side, Jess was talking about the one he remembers, and I bet it was something like that. So cool radio, and had its own custom Courier Royale cover. So if you got the complete set between the radio and the cover, you're doing well. All right, thanks, Harvey, for that. I want to make sure, let people know that it did exist. So if you try and get one of those radios, make sure you try and get the cover with it. Don't let them keep the cover. Back over to you. Give me the for Radio 10. Give me the instructions on the transmitter and the receiver, because I really would like to see if we can find a photo of at least. Well, I know I can get the receiver part down. Over.
Roger. Well, this is Browning Compact. It's a very narrow transmitter. It's 10 channels. It does have an on-the-air light. Doesn't say on the air or on air. I think I can come up with, excuse me, I do have brochures on this thing, and I have to look to see if it actually said on air. But it's got the jewel that glows and then pulsates back and forth with your voice, modulation. It's 10 channels inside of crystals, and you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then number 6 is an external slot, and then you have the other channels down the other side, kind of in a circular motion. Although the crystals or the channel selector set up not in a circular pattern where they would put the numbers, but in a rectangle. And at the top is, I would call it channel 6, and I stuck a channel 11 crystal in there. that it didn't have it. And it's got a full bank of the others or other channels, but well, it doesn't have 11. But I put it in there. Anyway, it does not have a power supply. It's one of the two models that gets its power supply from the receiver.
Interesting to know. I have a really horrible shot of the compact, I believe. It's very blurry. Let's see if I can do better. But if I first saw it, I don't even know if it would think it was a Browning. Although it's in the same case, it's got that color, the golden color. It is paired with a probably close to the receiver that you've got. Has nice audio. It sounds just like Browning was really good at keeping their radios consistent in the way the audio sounded. Their audio chain, however they did the filtering, they must have had some proprietary thing saying this radio is all, regardless of the ones we put out, what model it is, it's always going to sound like a Browning. What did they do?
Well, I don't know. I'm trying to get the archives up on my phone, but I can't punch it in and talk. But anyway, it's got the standard tube for the F23, 23F9, and F9. It's got the 6GH8, the oscillator, mixer oscillator tube, I guess, transmit. And then it's got 12AU7, AX7, and 6BQ5 audio output, and then a 5763 filer. It just does not have a transformer in it. You get your power from the receiver. Now, the interesting thing is, almost all the receivers did have the wiring in back for the extra power, which you need either one or either two or three. If it needed a ground, I'm not sure if it did. Probably did. Yeah, I think it would. You'd have to have three extra wires in the accessory cable to provide the ground for the voltage and the 6 volts for the tube and the high voltage coming from the receiver. And most receivers had that. That's why last week I mentioned you can't just play any transmitter into it because you'll run into cables that won't work because of the on-air light in the receiver. Anyway, so this one came this way, R2700A with the compact. And my other R2700 and R2700A all have the wiring in it. So I got lucky that way. But this transmitter and the T2700, which is similar looking to this, only, I think it's only 5 or 6 channels. It's got kind of a different look to it in the front, but it's narrow. The T2700 has has no power supply in it, and then I think they call it the T2700F, and that one, they put a transformer in it, and it has its own power supply, plug in the wall, the whole 9 yards. So then you got to watch which cable you use with it, with the receiver. Anyway, that should tell enough about this.
Indeed. Your words eye view is always appreciated, Harvey, your vast knowledge. I did find a better shot of the compact with its, 10 channels, and then it's got the 12 o'clock position is showing you plug the crystal into the front. Bozo would like this radio. There is the proboscis. On the right side and the opposite side where the microphone connector is, that is glowing red, at least on the photo I have, and of course with the Browning Compact, there is a window or something above the crystal socket. I'm not sure if that was a place to put your call or if that was some accessory that was supposed to go in there. But it looks like we have a picture of the Compact. Not exactly sure what their purpose was for this, except to make it smaller, perhaps, to do something a little bit different. But I have found a better shot of the very rare compact radio, which you have explained for us.
Roger. And I'm using an unamplified D104. So how's that working?
Sounding great. Like I said, the audio sounds just like a Browning should. The ping is there. And you know what I can do? Your next transmission, what I will do, I think I'm going to switch over to the audio. Now I can do that and put in the audio Orban audio loudness meter, and we'll check on, you know that, but I'll confirm your frequency on the crystal on your next transmission.
What did you find out?
I found out the exact same thing. 27084.6, and the last part of the transmission was jumping around even more than that, but it does start high and go a little bit low. But it's within the, 700 cycle spec.
Oh, darn. I didn't save the old tube radio. It's www.oldtuberadio.what? Oh, .net, right?
Yeah, .net will give you the show live, if you want to call it a show. We'll give you what we're doing here and the page with the pictures. And oldtuberadio.com will give you the page with all the radios and information that way. So depending on what you want. But the live broadcast that you are a part of right now, sir, is at oldtuberadio.net.
Hey, Roger. Oh, yeah. That's what you got. I'm looking at the picture. That's exactly right. Now, that rectangle is obviously for call letters. And it does not show it's saying on air or on the air below or above the little red light. The rectangle, double rectangle, mine is a little tiny bit scratched in the upper left-hand corner of that rectangle. Other than that, it's pretty good. So I'm happy with this. But, unamp D104, fairly decent head on the mic. So I'm happy that it works as well as it does.
And so are we at the Old Tube Radio Network. That it works well. They get to share it with us and the shortwave listeners listening in, 27085, and also around the Universal Media Netweb at oldtuberadio.net. And I wish I had I'll have to work on getting a better picture of this, thanks to whatever that is, somebody.org for the use of their photo there, but at least we can find it. And just wondering what was the purpose for a Browning Compact. I guess the whole thing about Browning was you wanted this big radio, but maybe you didn't want it that big. Maybe you wanted to hide it somewhere or put it in the mobile. But it sounds good. It's only heard exclusively on the Old Tube Radio Network. And it's working fine, too. It sounds great.
Hey, Roger. Appreciate it. I think I asked you to proxy me in for next week. So go ahead and do that. Trying to think. The earliest TV transmitters for the base that I have record of and brochures of are the T2700, T2700M, I think they call it. I'll have to look it up in the brochures I have. And the compact. And then after that, they have the S9, which was, I don't know, 8 channels, 10 channels, something like that. But it had a little bit more stuff on it. It had a box and a meter, and, other stuff on it. This doesn't have a meter, neither do the T2700. But I do have a brochure advertising at least 2 or 3 of these where they include in the brochure the F9 or F9 and 23F9, all being sold at the very same time. You've got your bargain basement radios, etc. The brochure featuring this one to buy, it's mated with an R2700A, not the early model 2700. Dude, I'm kind of thinking the T2700s were first, then this, along with this receiver. So, anyway, and this receiver is the later model R2700A. The earlier model R2700A had the 2 bolted together chassis, as did the R2700. They kept some of those chassis in the R2700A, because I think I have one. Yeah. Anyway, back to you. Thank you.
And thank you. Back to me in the studio. Harvey's always really good with the archival information for the tube radios. So thank you for that, and thanks for jumping in the radio. It's nice when it's a little bit warmer outside, isn't it? You can do a few more radios than we normally get. Radio number 10, the Browning Compact, paired with the, and I started to write the receiver and then I stopped. The receiver you are using is the 2700A, is that correct? Over?
Yes, it is.
Okay, then I've logged it correctly here for radio number 10 on a March 16th of 2019. Can you believe we've been doing this for 34 years, Harvey?
Yeah, and I'm still breathing. Yeah, I remember, I can't remember what my first number was, but it might have been 20. I remember you were up numbers that night, and I turned on the radio a little late, and you got up to around 20. And I said, hello, and that's how I got 20, I think.
Could be. I've got a lot of paper stuff. I've gone through we've been doing paper archives because when we first started this in the mid-'80s, I don't think we were doing anything on a computer. I was hand drawing these, I remember, because my penmanship was better than any of the other net controllers. And then somebody got a computer. Jim got a computer, and then I had the Atari. I had the Atari 520 ST, and we started printing them out. But yeah, back in the days before computer and internet, we were doing this. So it's fun, and obviously, even before that, you were on the radio a long time. But it wasn't until the mid-'80s when we started doing the tube radio check-ins where we were on Channel 14. It was always kind of busy and crowded and a little H&D going on. And to get away from the fracas, we would head down to Channel 11, which a lot of us had if we had single crystal-controlled tube radios, and just take a breath and chat on the tube radios. And from there is history, or whatever that is. Radio 10, the Browning Compact with the 2700A. I apologize to the digital listeners tonight as I'm having some issues on the audio levels and some other things. But it seems to be kind of working. And, of course, here at 27085 on the old Tube Radio Network, it's always working. It is 17 after 10 Pacific Daylight Time I will give a last call out for radios. I did want to go a little bit extra tonight due to the technical difficulties, and then if I can find the button that I buzz the other studio for the jingle singers to let them know they need to get in front of the microphones and beacon. See, they have too much fun over there. And so as we're working hard to trying to check in radios, I always have to get them and everyone involved up and running. So here we go.
Let's do some spelling.
OTR. 27.085 megahertz. Channel 11, Old Tube Radio. Old Tube Radio.
Looking for Radio 11, any SWL check-ins, and counting and amounting soon on the Old Tube Radio Network. I take a look at the Orban loudness meter. It is quiet out there tonight. I may have to open up the RF gain control, get a little noise in this thing. All right, here we go. Better late than never. Where's the shot? Boy, it's just huge. The Demco, there it is. The Demco bell. I don't know if you're still listening there, JT. Oops, I'm dropping all my stuff on the floor. I'm going to be counting them out unless I... Yeah. All right, there we go. Unless I get all my papers off the floor. But that's the Demco... Oops. Now what did I do? I hit the wrong button here. Hold on. There we go. I apologize for the bad photo there. I had a better one. Clear as a bell at midnight is the Demco radio. We had a bell ringer. Actually, we had two bell ringers, right? Yeah, we did. We'll talk about that when we do counting and amounting. But JT went to a lot of trouble collecting his bells, and when he rings them, we want to. When we get a bell ringer, we want to acknowledge them. So that's our Demco bell that got rung not once, but twice tonight. Standing by for any late check-ins. We're not late yet. We're still on the air. Any SWL check-ins, radio check-ins before we close out the net tonight? And Bob and Steve are in front of the Jingle Singers, the orchestra, conducting what we always do at the very tail end of the net here, our favorite little tune about being modern.
You're tuned to
OTR. Channel 11.
right here in
Fresno, California.
Stay with us
Old Tube Radio.
and be modern.
And Tim Sean, I noticed the same thing. I walked into the radio room. Tim was talking about, there were some reports that 11 meters did open up today. I heard Hawaii, and then Dennis came in earlier and said that he actually chatted with some South American stations. So our sunspot numbers were up to 11, which usually means there's something rotated into view. And there may be getting more as we get to the... Have we done the equinox yet? That's coming up, right? That's in the next day or two. So could have some interesting activity there. Counting and mounting, we'll be back with the totals here on the Old Tube Radio Network. And I apologize for kind of the technical things going on. It's always on the digital side. The radios seem to be working well tonight. I will say all of you did well tonight on the radio side. It was me here with trying to add pictures to radio where we get into big trouble. And, you know, I do hear on the crossband, if you're listening, Larry, let John, SWL73, know that he is being checked in. I think I can do an official 73 check-in with that. John is out there mobiling, but he has quite a few old tube radios that are not Class D that he could check in here on the net with some of the big iron tonight. Let's... I can't read the list unless the Jingle Singers, unless the orchestra does this special thing. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, time now for the current OTR totals.
The current and final totals. Yeah, Tim, I have procured one of those W7FG doublet antennas that I hope to get up soon, and I'm not sure how it will be configured in the yard. But I think even if it's the wrong way, I should be able to pick up you guys here on 75 or 40 or something during the day from here, if I get it up high enough. Good night to New York. Smarty J there. Thank you, sir. Thanks for listening in tonight. I know you're staying up late with the radios. Speaking of which, let's talk about the SWLs. We had 12 check-in on page 1. We are on week... Where's my list? We are on week 5 at 3/16/2019. On the 8-week roster, 12 check-ins on page 1, 13 on page 2, 15. Actually, make that 16 because we just checked in Mr. Music Instructor on page 3, 15 on page 4 for a total of 56. Just for kicks, I stole your line, Phil. And then we had 10 radios tonight. We made double-digit radios starting off. And who was the most heard manufacturer? I think we had a tie between the Demcos, which is unusual, right? And the General Radio Telephones, not so unusual. We only had one Browning tonight. How about that? That checked in officially. I think we had a couple other Brownings coming in. So, with the 10 radios, we started off with the Demco Satellite, the big 3-piece radio with the modulator. It was from Paul. Jerry on the General Radio Telephone MC5 for radio number 2. Chris on the General Radio Telephone Super MC11A for radio 3. Radio 4 tonight, Chris was also on the Chris 23 Plus. The Demco Travelier Series B. We got a transmission or two out of it. We expect to hear more in future episodes. It's very rare, a rare bird, I guess. Rare Demco for sure. That was Paul, radio number 5. Chris was radio number 6 on the Gem Marine Products G PowerMate. Radio 7 stopped by the Cobra Cam 88 from Harvey, I think soon to be to its rightful owner. Sounds just great audio without any range boosting or whatever. The Lafayette Comstat 25A also from Harvey for Radio 8. Chris was on the Courier Royale tonight for Radio 9, bringing back some good memories for some of our SWLs, which a lot of these radios do. A lot of us, some of us, I won't say a lot of us, but some of us are actually around with our little transistorized walkie-talkies and our solid-state Radio Shack radios. Well, these radios, the Couriers and the Brownings and the Hallicrafters and the Demcos, were live and direct, new out of the box back in the late 60s and 70s. And we were wishing that we could have one of those radios, too. If we could afford it. Now a lot of us can. So, hooray for the Old Tube Radio Network. Radio number 10 tonight was the Browning Compact. I don't think I ever remember hearing a Browning Compact back in the day. But stay tuned to the Old Tube Radio Network. You will hear some interesting things. Browning Compact paired with the R2700A receiver. So, thanks, everybody, for taking time out of your, especially our tube radio operators who sneak away from whatever they're supposed to be doing. It's like, honey, let me go check on the cat. And then into the radio room they go for a transmission to the Old Tube Radio Network. So we appreciate that. Keeps us going here for 34 years. And also all of you who take time out from your evening activities to listen in like I do as a shortwave listener. And we will try this again next week. 27085. The archives will be up soon if you want to hear your radio or go over anything that you might have heard or get some information. 2 ways to do it. We keep the video up for a while, so just watch the video replay or go to oldtuberadio.net, bring up the archive database. The OTR magnetophone will load all those reel-to-reel tapes and pick the date of choice, whether it's a tube radio check-in or an SWL check-in, and there you go. 73, everybody. Thanks to SearchLawrence.com and Frodex for keeping the Nixie tubes running. Still having a little bit of weird, wacko digital things going on. Still having trouble with the YouTube, Google Chrome stuff. But what we don't have trouble with is the main 27085 radios. And we thank all of you who help participate. Good night, everybody, on the Old Tube Radio Network.
Another great job, Dennis.
Yeah, indeed. Good night, everybody. And Jesse, we used to have a lot of Globe radios checking in. One of our net controllers, operators, who doesn't get on very much, had a stack. And I mean a literal stack of Globe radios. I may have gotten rid of a lot of them, but it's been a while since we've had a Globe radio. But go to oldtuberadio.com, and you can search for some of the radios. We have pictures up there as well. So good night, everybody, on the video side and the audio side and the radio side, which I've signed off. The Old Tube Radio Network is going away. Let me make sure I didn't miss any comments here before I turn everything off. Well, I guess we're okay. Good night, everybody. Don't add pictures to radio. It just makes things more difficult.